Back to school is taking on a whole new meaning these days as kids switch from traditional classrooms to online learning. It's the way schools have to do things now to help slow the spread of COVID-19. Minnesota students started their studies online yesterday. In Fargo and West Fargo, they start tomorrow. Parents of pre-K through grade 4 students are supplied with home learning packets, and 5th to 12th grade students meet with their teachers virtually. One Moorhead family says the teacher interaction and the resources help them stay grounded as they all navigate through their new reality.
I feel like I've been challenged to become a better parent, just focusing on these guys more.
Minnesota students experienced some glitches on day one yesterday. Troubles with the popular Schoology learning management system were numerous, so numerous, in fact, that it was trending on Twitter. Minnesota students aren't scheduled to return to the actual physical classroom until at least April 30th. It is now 1 minute past the top of the hour. Let's get a check of that forecast on this Tuesday, last day of March. Hey, Lisa.
That's right, and it's generally been a pretty quiet month. We've had a couple of rounds of precipitation move through, but generally pretty dry, which has been great given that we've got those rivers rising. We don't want to add any moisture to the system. Unfortunately, as we're moving into April, we've got some active weather ahead this week. So let's talk about our last day of March. We're starting off this morning pretty nicely. We've got clear skies, no fog like yesterday, and checking out conditions around the valley. Checking out our temperatures, especially, you can see that we're pretty mild. Fargo's at 39, so is Fergus Falls. Grand Forks is at 34. One place in the East Bemidji below freezing. That's where we're coolest. We're warmest to the west. Devils Lake currently at 37, with a lot of us reporting some clear skies or fair conditions here this morning. Now, not everybody is seeing that, though. There are some areas of rain showing up, a sign of things to come as we are working our way through the rest of the week this week. There's some rain up by Langdon. That's moving to the northeast, so don't be surprised if you see some sprinkles around Devils Lake. And then another batch down to the south and northeastern South Dakota that is lifting northward into southeastern North Dakota here this morning. So some spotty areas of rain. Most of the day, though, I do think we're going to get to have some drier conditions. Still getting some sunshine here and there. Not as bright and beautiful as yesterday afternoon everywhere, but temperatures are still going to be mild. We're looking at rising back into the 40s and 50s for this afternoon. Now, heading into tonight, that's where we start to see more chances for rain, even some thunder that I'll be talking about. And there's more where that came from. Rain and even some snow. Not done with us yet. As we work our way through the week, we'll have your full details coming up in just a few minutes.
Watch out for it. Thank you, Lisa. We have new information this morning on a Minnesota police officer wounded in the line of duty. The sister-in-law of Waseca police officer Eric Matson posted on his CaringBridge page last night that he is going out of state to continue his recovery. She says the facility Matson is currently staying in does not have the ability to provide the care that he needs and that he is, quote, stoked about the move. Matson was shot in the head in an exchange of gunfire in Waseca this past January. A 16-year-old North Dakota girl is dead after being hit by a pickup. Police say it happened around midnight Sunday in Jamestown. The girl was pinned under the vehicle and died at the scene. The driver of the pickup was also 16. COVID-19 deaths in North Dakota are up to 3 after 2 more cases were reported just yesterday. State health officials are monitoring 109 cases. The 2 latest deaths are a woman in her 80s from McHenry County and a man in his 70s from Morton County. Both got the virus through community spread. 19 people in North Dakota remain hospitalized. In Minnesota, there are 576 positive cases, including 10 deaths and 56 people that are in the hospital right now. All 223 adult day centers across Minnesota must close their doors immediately after receiving a notice from the state. And state health officials are also working with the Minnesota National Guard to scope out potential buildings they could convert into medical facilities for patients. Minnesota small business owners shuttered by emergency orders issued by the governor can apply for emergency loans from the State Economic Development Office. One option offers loans between $2,500 and $35,000 with 0 interest. Another option lets companies with fewer than 250 employees apply for loans up to $200,000 that are financially backed by the state. There is fallout from the continued panic shopping locally. A daycare says they're forced to close because they just can't find the needed supplies to operate. Valley News Team's Joshua Peguero has their story.
Pamela Lindemann says she's been operating a daycare for nearly 30 years. For the first time, Lindemann says she can't find toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and bleach, supplies she needs to keep a clean and safe facility.
Well, all of a sudden everybody's hoarding them. And, you know, then it takes away from people who also need to have these supplies.
Lindemann says the lack of these items was one of the reasons she made the tough decision to close.
I don't really know where to go. Kind family across the street from me, which happens to be one of the families I do take care for, they did bring me over some from their surplus.
Besides not finding them at local supermarkets, Lindemann says Amazon was sold out of toilet paper when she last looked.
I would even pay more for them, but they're not even available to me at this point.
Over the last 2 weeks, more testing is being done in North Dakota, which is increasing the numbers. On Monday, a drive-through testing site opened right across the street from the Hornbachers on 32nd. Experts say you shouldn't panic buy just because you're worried things may sell out indefinitely. Hornbachers president Matt Lyseth says the amount of shoppers has been overwhelming.
You know, take a deep breath, everyone, and stay calm. There's no reason to hoard. The food continues to come in. Just buy what you need.
Walmart off of 52nd Avenue stocked its shelves with toilet paper early Monday morning, and by noon, it was nearly all gone. Costco says they ordered some toilet paper, but don't know when they'll arrive. In Fargo, Joshua Piguero, Valley News Live.
Lindemann says she hopes to reopen in 2 weeks after she gets her supplies replenished. Freezer items, are getting harder to find, but there is a way that you can preserve those fresh fruits and veggies for a little bit longer. The Valley Today's Abby Furchner joins us live this morning to show us ways that we can get our money's worth when we're grocery shopping. Now, this is important, Abby, because we don't want to go to the store all that often.
Yeah. Right, exactly. So the next time you go to the store, you might want to get some extra whole fruit while you're there. It's so simple to freeze those raspberries, strawberries, and then de-thaw them whenever you need them. And so here's kind of what I do and kind of what is recommended to do. When it comes to my strawberries, I like to cut them in half. I feel like then I can just go in and grab a handful, and it definitely saves some more as well. And then after I wash them, I lay them out on a baking sheet individually, because then once you put them inside of the container, they're not all just clumped together when they freeze in the freezer. So I like to lay out my strawberries and my raspberries individually. And this is just so nice because instead of buying the fresh fruit and having it go to waste and then going and having to buy some more, you can take these out and just de-thaw them. And they go great with yogurt, oatmeal, just snacking, really anything that you want to use fruit for. Frozen fruit does just the same as that fresh fruit does. And then what I like to do, I'm not a big fan of the freezer bags. I like to do containers more, is I'll place the fruit once it's frozen inside the container like this one, and then just go ahead and freeze it. And fruit's so nice because it can last up to 18 months. I've had this since September of 2019, and I'm still picking at it. I love it in smoothies and just yogurt. Like I said, I'm a huge yogurt fan. And then bananas too. I have learned the hard way. Peel your banana and then cut it in half and freeze it that way. Bananas I don't usually use a container for. This is one where I'll use a bag to freeze it. But these are just some easy ways that you can really preserve your whole fruits and veggies as well. Veggies, you can blanch them, which is just boiling them, putting them in water, and then putting them in the freezer. But like I said, de-thaw them at room temperature. Be careful with berries, they don't get mushy, but so simple to do and get your money's worth for sure.
And my favorite thing to do, especially now, then you can just thaw them out and throw them in a margarita if you want to make one of those.
Perfect. Mojitos, Moscow mules, you name it. You got the fresh fruit for it.
Absolutely. Loving it. Abby Furchner reporting live. Thank you very much this morning.